the Colonel, also on the same day, being the 4th of July 2018. In other words, General Khan prepared his statement with the benefit of the evidence against him. This was particularly concerning in this case because the complainant and the suspect worked at the same place, and the suspect was the complainant's senior and direct superior. The receipt of such sensitive information would enable the suspect to manufacture and tailor his version, but also approach other witnesses to influence their versions before they are approached to submit statements. Paragraph 9, we informed the Colonel that she would have to provide us with an affidavit setting out this incident, and we will investigate the matter further.
Thank you, Colonel. If we can just pause there and go back to the exhibit file and just to identify the attachments to the email that was sent by Andrea Johnson to the Colonel. If you can go to you'll see at the foot of page 5, you'll see it says 13 attachments, and then it goes over the following few pages until page 18. You'll see if you go until page 10, these are all the photographs, and can you just identify to us what those photographs were of?
Commissioners, these were photographs of the actual statement of the complainant, Brigadier Petle. I can't read them from this. My eyes are not that good. But I presume they are a full
there are
version.
better copies from page 11. But
so what I know from this, not from reading it, but what I know, I recognize the documents from what she's given to me at the time and on which affidavit was prepared.
And then you also said that it included an audio recording, correct?
That is correct, Commissioners.
And we see that on page 10. The last attachment on page 10 says 2018-0703 audio with a number
787. It's also on page 8, the top of page 8.
Yes.
Yeah, and then there's also photos of the J88 that was inside the docket at the time.
Yes, the J88 appears on page 9, the second last photograph on page 9.
That is correct, Commissioners.
Is it correct then that, especially when you make reference to the J88, that these documents would have been the content of a docket?
That is correct.
It's a proper description.
That's correct, Commissioner. It would have been in the docket itself.
Thank you.
And then if I could just ask you, Colonel, why was it so concerning to you that the suspect in this case, General Khan, had been given the contents of the docket? I know you say there's issues about he may influence the investigation, but at which stage, I mean, we do know that if somebody is then charged as an accused person, they are entitled at some point to the docket. Why was it a concern that it was at that stage?
Commissioners, when we got hold of the docket, because we went to the police's archive and we physically fetched the actual docket, it became clear from the docket and the entries in the docket that General Khan would have been interviewed on, and now I have to rely on the date that the interview was held, and I can't remember that specifically on the top of my head. But he was supposed to be interviewed by the investigating officer on that specific day, and he received this document just prior to be interviewed for a warning.
Looking for a great car insurance deal? Look no further. For quality cover and affordable premiums, get a quote and see how little you could pay.
Red flag and a very huge concern because you're not entitled to any statements at that point in time. You're entitled to what's the charges.